Blessed good night and greetings to everyone. You don't know. I also give thanks for life and prosperity, yeah. Health and strength and wisdom and understanding, you know, it's how you're forever presenting. From you love the vibes of me, you say, highway. Well, on, man. I hate to deal with around here now. I know the people them healthy. From you love the vibes, say, highway. Holy man over there, King Selassie, I used to give thanks to life every time, yeah. Take it out, make a blessed peace out there, because you don't know, you know. Yeah, I'm the King Burner, big up myself, yeah, King Isis. One love and 90, Jack Phoenix. Yeah, I'm the Kush. Yeah, I'm the Dayton, fancy fruits, Mr. Bow. So you believe in yourself, you know you have to make it in a life, but I see you start work some more. Over here, some of me see you work some more. I turn it up. Pastor man, I tell them again, I watch you know. One step at a time, we got to shine, you know. I tell yourself, it's free up on no money, you know. I lift it up and get caught in a crime. Straight up the ladder, I climb. I watch you know. One step at a time, we got to shine, you know. Just like I tell yourself, it's free up on no mind. We come to lift it up and get caught in a crime. Straight up the ladder, I climb. I watch you know. Telling me that you're suffering, live it to the top. I say, I just flame a step it out, we now look back. We know what the gun, me now the bust the gunshot. I me rather make the tune them kick off and spot. That shouldn't negativity. Make the love attack and I got tell the warriors me heading straight to the top, yo. Tell them to listen to the message me I send. Righteousness me I defend. I watch you know. One step at a time we got to shine, you know. I just tell yourself it's free up on the mind. Become to lift it up and not get caught in a crime. Straight up the ladder I climb. I watch you know. One step at a time we got to shine, you know. I just tell yourself it's free up on the mind. Come to lift it up and not get caught in a crime. Straight up the ladder I climb. Balance. Tell them we have to make it high, we got to rise. They get to you, them and go give them a surprise. I me burn the negative, but burn the bad vibes. Rest of all, I me hit them by surprise. What's around? Alright. Hear me now, Baba. Huh? Pull it up again.
That I want to word up my experimentation, right? Why I'm having this event is when my brother was passing, my brother said to me, he should have listened to me. He should have said, sis, I should have listened to what you had to say. You know, I obviously I know it's passing, so I can't say I told you so. You know, and you know, little things like if it could only have one more week. You know, we take life for granted so much. You know, so why I'm doing this DIFALA means doing it Anthony Anderson, healing nation, because a lot of our people we're talking to about healthy lifestyle, healthy liberty, because we're in Kentucky Chicken. We're in Kentucky Chicken shop buying these Kentucky Chicken, but you know, if you research, you will see what they're feeding the chickens, right? So you're eating this chicken and it's being injected with these hormones. Why are you gonna eat this? Why are you gonna eat that chicken? And then will it go in your what? Right? But I must tell you who I am as well. For those that don't know me, my name is Shalshani. I am a holistic esthetician. So I'm ITech trained, which means I'm international trained. So what my work is really basically to do with skin. You know, I'm a skin therapist and a body. So we talk about the foods and the carcinogenic ingredients what you put onto your face and to your body. Because a lot of those products, what we're using, has cancer ingredients in. Alright? So, you know the skin has millions of holes in. So, when you're rubbing in these ingredients into the epidermis, which is the top layer of the skin, and you're rubbing in this ingredient, it goes into your bloodstream. Alright? It goes into your bloodstream. And the bleaching cream, I'm in the schools, but I just started with JC, which they've sent me an email and I was like, they want me to do most of the children. Because I talk about the bleaching, which is very important because we got this thing in Jamaica that when you're dark, you're too, you know, hey, they just feel like they can't get a job. They have to be brown. You know, you talk to the girls, well, I'm brown. I want to be brown because I can't get work. I can't get no man. What have you, right? And they're using this bleaching cream with hydroquinone and mercury. Do you know what that is? Those are harmful chemicals that when you rub into the top layer of your skin, that's going into your bloodstream, okay? Starts causing a slow death. So this is one of my journeys. This is one of my journeys. It's going into the schools, especially to talk to the children about the skin bleaching. Yes, there's a lot of people that tell me, why are you doing it? But hey, if I save one, I'm happy because I'm on my path now. To the rain is not gonna stop us. We want to put healers in here. Dr. Holter, the ICI, the healers. Okay, you know, we have work to do. So, and it's working. People are waking up now. People are waking up to the holistic way of life. The fruit. I don't drink Pepsi Cola. I don't drink a soda. The reason being, if you do your research, you see when you're going to clean an engine, you pour in ingredients on the engine and it cleans it. So what is it doing inside the body? You know what I mean? So I'm a water person and I'm a juice person. I don't drink water from the pipe either. And if I do, I boil it. My vision for cleaning the nation is basically to tour around and talk to the people, right? It's, you know, small little communities, big communities, medium communities, just to get the word out. All right. You need to the cosmetics that you're using. You need to go into you need to read and research what you're putting into your bodies. I know. I mean, I've been in the business about 38 years, a long time. All right. So I just decided to go for 1991, go the holistic way, because I knew that, you know, certain companies, they have baby fetuses in their creams. Now, a lot of people don't know this. So all these lotions, what they're using has these ingredients in, but we're not researching because it might be in this pretty bottle. So we don't research it and we rub it into our skins. Which, where are we from? I know a lot of Jamaicans come from Africa, but you are like African, right? You might not be born there, but you are. That's where we come from. All right. So yeah. So stuff like that. The pain of losing my brother. I'll be honest with you. When my brother passed, I thought I was gonna go into a madhouse because me and my brother used to go everywhere together. And when he was in London, I would be speaking on the phone every day, and to hear him not really pick up the phone anymore. And say, sis, warm Facebook queen, and it was hard not hearing that anymore. So, you know, maybe hear him through the mystical way for guidance and everything like that. And you know, we asked him what he make it really for, but you know, it's blessing. So that's you know, it's a simple thing. The next one is going to be the greater one. So I'm gonna do lots of little more tours around the island because I've been getting calls from Montego Bay, St. Anne, Westmoreland. When are we coming there? When are we coming there? When are we coming here? So I know this type of talk is going to be needed for the people. You know, we have a Sophie. I know you're not even feeling well. She's not even feeling well, but she came from London. And I locked, when I ran a pass, I feel like I was running up and down like crazy. And I locked myself up and made a product called DIFALA. Can somebody bring a DIFALA to me, please? Yeah, I mean, it's DIFALA. I named it after my brother because I know there's healing to chronic pain. When they tell you all these medications, I speak to so much people that are on. I'm speaking to so much people that are on medication for pain. Why are you not healed from the pain? Why are you taking tablets for 20 years? Right? Which, you know, you're going to have Dr. Hotep and King ICI, and I'm sure they're going to be talking about that. All right? Why are we taking tablets for so long? Because it's a business. I'm not saying our business is not a business, but we're going to be healing you naturally, because the Most High has put everything on the earth for us to drink and for us to eat, right? It's just that we've got very, what's the word I'm looking for? We're into the European and the fast food. Look at Kentucky, look at when McDonald's was here. I mean, even that processed cheese. Has anybody, that square processed cheese, if you put it on a fire, try and melt it. It will not melt. So why won't this cheese melt? What is it doing inside your tummy, in your stomach, your belly? What is it doing in there? If it cannot, if fire has got to it hasn't melted. You know, so basically, this is what our work is. We should just talk to the people about healthy lifestyle, the products that we make to make you well. This is my latest product. I have a lot of skincare products, but I want to talk about this one because this is the one that collects the heavy metals out of your body. So what it does, our foods, our environment, heavy metals is our own place. So, alright? So, you know, the heavy metals are in the environment, and we have to find ways to take it out. The stomach takes out the mucus, and this is why a lot of our tummies are quite big, because there's mucus in the tummy. Alright, so we need to get it out. This is going to take it out when you do a number 2 and your urine. The amount of testimonials I get, especially for the men, because I like to get very energetic with it. Alright, because it's taking up the heavy metals. So they feel like Superman when they take it. So you can take it in your smoothie, your green drink, your orange juice, and your water. Alright? I'm gonna step up because I better come up again, hopefully. So what I want to do is give you back to the host, and for those that say they do come, I know the rain. I know Jamaicans are frightened of rain, so I think they're having Angie up next. Are you? Sure. Okay. All right, we're going to invite Dr. Hotep. He is a certified holistic nutritional counselor. He owns the Malay Clinic, and they have 3 locations: Mandeville, Montego Bay, and Kingston. And he's here. Come on, everybody, give him some love and support.
Whoa. All right, greetings, everybody, greetings. Okay, yes, so we're talking about health, wellness, and we're talking about cancer, it seems, you know. And, you know, first of all, I must say big shout out to Shalshani and the crew for putting it together. I'm very grateful to be here to speak about something that's very close to my heart, as per usual. When we say close to my heart, the operative word is heart. Because let me just give you a little background. A few years ago, going back, I would say 10, 15, 20 years ago, there was a time when I used to exercise and I used to get a pain in my chest. Yeah? It's like to me. But I used to get a pain in my chest. And going on, just rushing through the story. When I reached to about 2009, on one of my frequent trips to here, Jamaica, I came across a Dr. Aris who introduced us to live, real, raw food. And, you know, long story short, I embraced that lifestyle based on the principle of truth. The truth meaning that the food, the sun, I should say, cooks the food in its growth process. Yes, the sun, nature prepares the food in its growth process. That truth engulfed me, and I immediately changed my lifestyle. Going back to England, I would say, visiting the gym, doing training and exercise, I realized after 6 weeks that this pain in the chest disappeared. All I was doing was eating real food and the pain disappeared. So, you know, we realized the power of real food. You see, we realize the power. So we say food is a medicine and medicine should be that food. You know, most definitely food is a medicine, medicine should be your food. Okay? So we're talking about cancer today. And, you know, what is cancer? We ask the question, what is cancer? You know, we have many assumptions and theories and ideologies and so forth, you know. But when you look at these things, we have to look at most bodily conditions from a cellular level, from a cellular basis. When we look at cancer from a cellular basis, we realize that we're talking about suffocation. Suffocation on a cellular level. Okay? Now, why do we say that? If we look at the cell has a head, the cell has a brain, the cell has liver and kidney and skin and bones. The cell has a heart. A cell is a body in itself. You see, a cell has 70 to 80% water, plasma. A cell is a body. So if we want to really address these issues, we address it from a cellular level. Okay? So they just change the names. They have different names: lysosome, ribosome, nucleus, mitochondria. These are just some Greek names to throw us off. But realistically, we're looking at the function of a liver, kidney, heart, skin and bones. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, functionally. When we look at the function of these components of the cell. So the cell has a high level of water. Okay? So now, when the cell or the water diminishes, depletes from the cell, is the same thing as you having depleted water from your body, because the cell is a body. So, like how your body dehydrates, the cell dehydrates. Yes? And when your body dehydrates, it's unable to think adequately. Right? So now when the cell dehydrates, it's unable to think adequately. The cell has a brain, remember. So the nucleus is the brain of the cell. So therefore the nucleus starts to create bad cells because it's thinking bad, abnormally. But why does this dehydration take place? And why is it so important? Because dehydration removes water. We all know this. What is inside of the water? What is inside of the water? You find oxygen, the breath of life. The breath of life. Okay? So we're depleting our oxygen level, our water levels, therefore depleting our oxygen levels. We are made of 75% water, approximately. See the ocean out there is a clear replica of what's going on the planet Earth. Anyway, as we move through our daily activities, we are emanating water. We are giving off water. Yeah, in everything we do, in the breathing, in the perspiration, in the urination, we're giving off water. So everybody says, yes, we must drink 6 to 8 glasses of water. You must drink water. If you take your weight and you cut your weight in half, okay, then you have the amount, the figure, you now have that in fluid ounces you should be drinking per day. So if you're 200 pounds overweight or overweight, then you should be drinking 100 fluid ounces of water per day. That could be about 10 glasses. Yeah, if you're 160 pounds in weight, then you can cut it in half, 80 fluid ounces. Okay, about 8 to 10 glasses. Yeah, that's an average gauge, not to say it has to be set in stone, but that's a good gauge. So, we have the water to drink. Inside the water is the oxygen, the breath of life. Okay? Now, we're not talking about the tap water, as Shalshani rightly mentioned. We're not talking about tap water. We're talking about real water. We start with the coconut water at the top, right at the top. Yeah? Or your natural spring. Yes? Then we come down to distilled water. Alright? Then you go and buy this artificial water what everybody's drinking. Whether it be Catherine's Peak or whatever. I'm not trying to mention any names. They all say they got real purified water. Yeah? But let me tell you something. If you put water in a bottle and put it in a warehouse for 6 months, you think me and you would drink it? Real water. We wouldn't drink it because the water would turn inside out. And we would see fungi, amoeba, algae. We would not drink it. So they have to remove the life from the water to store it. But they say 8.9% alkaline and all that. So who are we to argue? They are the scientists, all right? So anyway, water, we need plenty of water. So at the end of the day, we should be eating water food. This is what Dr. Harris, number one principle, moisture-based foods. So you start with the coconut. You go down to things like mango, watermelon, and various other fruits, and the green leafy vegetables. Water-based substances should be going in our system. Why? Because they carry oxygen. Most of what we're talking about healing is oxygen doing the healing inside the food. The oxygen in the food is doing the healing. You understand? So that's what we should be watching. So moisture based. Now, what's the mistake? The mistake we make is we consume things that absorb moisture from the body. You see the ideology, you see the erroneous reversal type of thinking that we have. And then we wonder why we have cancer. Now, if you're consuming things that absorb moisture, that suck moisture, and let's say one. Number one is sugar, refined sugar, number one. But people jump to honey. Honey is 16% moisture based. 16% honey has. So what is it doing? It's looking for water. It's called hygroscopic. Looking for water. Yam, dashing, sweet potato, they're looking for water. Their roots, they're going down in the ground. I'm not saying not to eat them. I'm just telling you what's going on. They are looking for water. And you are looking for water, so what should you be doing? So we're using these hygroscopic things that suck water from our body. When it sucks water from our body, our colon, our transitional process from the intestine slows down. It slows down. You see, because they need to pull more water. Now, while that's going on, we're losing the most crucial and vital element of all, which is the oxygen, the breath of life. The most crucial. You see? Now, people talk about cancer. This is the point where we really need to get this point home. When that takes place, all of this process we explained, when it takes place, it sucks on a cellular level. So think about it. Every cell in your body is being sucked, is being depleted in moisture, therefore depleted in oxygen. Every cell in your body. After a while, certain cells mutate. They mutate in order to search for life. That's the only thing the body can do, is protect its only product, which is life. So the cells become defective and mutate, and they cause other cells to be influenced and be defective also. This is what you're now calling the formation of a tumor. But the formation of a tumor takes place over a process of 10 to 30 years. So tell me, when they find the tumor, how long has the cancer been developing? Yes, 10 to 30 years. So why are they focusing on the tumor? Why are you cutting out the breast, cutting out the prostate, cutting out the lungs? Why are you removing that and thinking that the problem is solved? When it's happening on a cellular level. Every cell in the body. But if I come along after you've had surgery and I say, oh, you know, I think it's all over your body, you're going to run me. Because you've just had surgery to remove it from the local area. Not understanding that it's all over the body. Because it's not a fungus. Let's get that out the window. So we're addressing this localized, this condition as if it's localized. Until when you go back for the checkup, the doctor will tell you, oh, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, we believe it's now spread. It's that we found some tumors in the lungs, or, you know, down in the prostate, in the cervix. You see? But someone like myself was telling you that from the beginning. It's all over your body. It's a bodily condition, holistic. Now, what do we mean by holistic? That takes us into a whole other area, because when we're treating these conditions, we're treating them symptomatically. Why? Because holistic health says we don't treat the illness, we treat the person. So why has the person got cancer? What spiritual aspect or what spiritual member has afforded them this ease? What mental disconnection has afforded them this ease? What emotional stagnation has afforded them this ease? We have to think, because it's all one member, one entity, all members of the one entity. So for years we said spiritual disorder. Spiritual disorder. Or we use the Greek, we say spiritosis. Spiritosis, the symptomatic cause to modern disease. You see? So we're going to look at these aspects of the individual. Well, how can we help you spiritually? How can we realign you? Because spiritually you need to be realigned back with nature to understand the givings, the presence of the Creator. Because He's been offering the food and the nourishment to you day in, day out. But you walk past and look at the cow pasture or look in the supermarket. You see? This is what we do. So that's a spiritual misalignment. So how can we help? So we're talking holistic. So when we do an assessment, we address those things, the spiritual aspect of the individual, the mentality of the individual, the emotionality, because most of the time these sugar cravings, salt cravings, junk crisp snack cravings are motivated by way of your emotional status. Sugar helps to satisfy the need to give and receive love. Salt redirects anger, frustration, and violence. Crunchy snacks and chips represent your dissatisfaction or social abrasion. You might call that white supremacy, some people call that. But anyway, the displacement and your acculturated stress, look it up. You'll see that these things agitate and irritate the spirit and cause us to eat junk. Seeking love and satisfaction and redirecting our anger. So we end up consuming the junk. So people say, oh, it's the diet. Is it really? Is it? Because there's things going on in the mind. What make them consume these junk? There's detachment on a spiritual level. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about spirituality, the opposing polarity to religion. Spirituality, which I like to call these days thought-tology. Thought-tology. This very existence is a materialization of divine thoughts. Just in case you need to know that. Do you understand? So the person needs to get realigned, spiritually, mentally connected. Mentally. We can never be disconnected, but we're mentally disconnected. We're detached. We're emotionally disturbed. Sugar, if you're having a trouble understanding this point, sugar was one of the drugs that the Africans was brought here to mine, to cultivate. Sugar. Now, Jamaica was the stripping down, breaking down ground. Biggest. The British were big in that. Okay? So now, for sugar, now today, back then we couldn't touch it, mind you. It was for the elite. But you know, we always want the things that the rich have. So eventually, we found ourselves consuming this wretched drug. And we could go on all night about the workings and the functions and the symptoms of sugar consumption. Right? So now, sugar today in Jamaica, after you realize that the displacement of what you call slavery causes emotional issues going down through the generations. Oh yes. So now, are we surprised that 25% of Jamaica is suffering diabetes? Because diabetes, wait for it, diabetes is an emotional disease. Emotional disease. That's what the starch and the sugar and the white rice consumption is all about. It's deeper rooted than what we think. So we talk about cancer and healing cancer. Heal the person. Fix the person. Realign them. Raise their mentality. Stabilize their emotions. That's what's going to fix their body. Because their body is the last point. Fix those three presiding members of the entity, and the entity will be fixed. You see what I'm saying? So cancer is not no big thing to heal, because cancer is a conglomeration of various bodily organs, all of them in fact. Because how can you have cellular suffocation and your kidneys working all right? How can you have cellular suffocation and your liver's working all right? Rubbish! How can you? But they will say, oh, you know, your lungs has a tumor, but your kidneys are fine. Rubbish! If you have cellular suffocation, every part of your body is weakened, deteriorating. That's why it becomes cancerous. Cancer is every disease is a holistic disease, much less. There's nobody walking around with cancer and diabetes who does not have a spiritual detachment and a mental disorder. Nobody. But we're losing this because we're not understanding holistic health, which is the only health. I've said this many times. Holistic health is the only health. So we need to help them to realign their spirit. Reconnect the mind. Utilize the mind. Thinking. Boy, how much time have I got? Thinking. If I said how many of us really thinking, everybody's going to say, yeah. Thinking is a scarce commodity in this day and time. Scarce commodity, thinking. Another time we will go right into that, because we're here to help the people to think again and make choices again and solve problems and come up with new ideas. That's what we're not doing enough of. Everybody have follow. As they say, sheep being led to the slaughter. You see? So cancer is a conglomeration of various bodily organs. So we need to get the person's spirit right. They need to get into a spirit of healing. They need to get, understand, not even understand anymore. Understand the mental task at hand. You see? Because they need to draw on higher faculties of the brain. How many of us know we have higher faculties? And we have lower senses. But we have one sense. One sense. We think they're senses, they're sensors, with one sense. But we have higher faculties, and one of them is willpower. And the individual with cancer is going to need a mighty lot of willpower. So can you see how we need to be helping them to make use of their whole complete self? We need to help them. You see? So we have a very thorough health assessment that goes into it holistically and puts a program, and it's becoming more developed and developed each and every day as we learn more and more. But one thing that we can definitely say is that there's a mental blockage. There's a mental blockage, and it doesn't just come from anywhere, because let's look out there, we can see plenty of trees around. Anybody got a bucket of fried oil? A bottle of fried oil, heated oil. Yes? Let's pour it on the tree, at the root of the tree, and let's expect fruits to bear. Let's expect the tree to bear good fruit after we water it with oil, heated oil, which distorts the red blood cells, stops them from delivering what? From delivering oxygen around the body. What is cancer? Suffocation of oxygen. You see? So we're consuming the fried food. We're consuming the refined processes. You see? So it's not only sucking, it's blocking, obstructing. You understand? That's what it's doing. So, in order to heal, we're saying get the mind right, get the spirit aligned. Yeah, stabilize the emotions. And then we're saying, well, when you've got that part right, now you're ready to pick up real food. You see? And herbal medicine. You see, because if the mind ain't right, because how many of us have heard, you say, oh, you know, they use the doctor medicine, but in our world, so they have to try the herb. Maybe you're going to try the herb. You're going to try God? You're going to try God? God will try you. You understand? It shouldn't be a case of that. And this is where the biggest confusion has taken place. We do not understand what medicine really is. We do not understand what food really is. We do not understand what spirituality, for the most part. Because the mango is spiritual. The coconut is spiritual. The ackee, the callaloo is spiritual too. But when I say that, I may look crazy. If I go out in the morning, I go talk to my bird pepper tree, as I swallow 2 bird pepper with a coconut water, or I talk to my coconut tree in the morning, I'm the crazy one. I eat my pear, avocado pear, and I say thank you to the pear, I'm the crazy one. And the pear will also fulfill its purpose and sing the praises of God. Yes, sing the praises of God. You see? But we're not in tune with none of that. We're not in tune with any of that no more. So I look crazy. I'm talking to the plant. But the plant's got a nervous system running through them. Callaloo has a nervous system running through it. It comes into your body and it allows your vessels to dilate. Cleans up your vessels and allows them to dilate, to expand. While they're constricted and blocking oxygen going to the heart, it expands them. It pulls fiber, so it pulls the fiber in the leaves help to pull the sugar out of your blood. Yes, the fiber in the leaves help your body to pass stool, the excretory channel, the system greatly. But the leaves, how can I talk to the leaves? The leaves are just the leaves, they're dead, and blah, blah, blah. But we can go run and go buy some plastic food in plastic package. You see, or some drained out junk they call white rice. And don't shoot the messenger, please. I'm just carrying the message. You see, because we gotta wake up. There's a lot of things ahead of us. You see, so we gotta wake up. There's so much ahead of us, and we're looking down at the ground. You know, so that's how it is. So we say, eat real food, get into the herbs, clean up your blood, purify your blood, oxygenate your blood. Yes, we use things like purification process. We use a iron blood tonic. We use tissue nourishment, you see, to help the state of cancer. But the mind has to be receptive. The mind is the most powerful thing in the universe. Has to be ready. Okay? Has to be ready. So you see, the key thing here, the message, that the point I'm going to leave you with is when you detect a tumor, that could never ever be early detection. Impossible by definition. Right? Because as we explained, the tumor takes between 10 and 30 years to develop. And it's triggered by way of a defect in the cell. So the cell is already defected. And now the journey of the cell begins to mutate. High blood pressure is an early sign of cancer. Why wouldn't it be? When you understand what high blood pressure is, and let's get away from this stress, or somebody's stressed, their pressure go up. That's old news. You have a system in your body to deal with stress. It's called your adrenaline, your adrenal glands. You have that system. So when you have high blood pressure, it really goes back to oxygen starvation. Sorry, organ starvation. Organ starvation, which one of the items that it will be starving for would well be oxygen, as well as other nutrients that have not arrived at their destination. Why? Because there's too much clog and waste and obstruction and manure and cholesterol and all the rest of the junk in the system. Yeah, when we say cholesterol, we don't mean your body with cholesterol. We're talking about animal flesh. You see, if you have cancer, leave the animals alone. Well, you should leave them alone all the time. Let them live. Yeah? Animals are the most acidic. Animal flesh is the most acidic substance you can buy, you can put on your plate. Animal flesh. 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 That's all we're going to say. You see? If I put fish down here, frozen fish, and frozen, oxtail chicken, and let them thaw out, which one going to smell the worst? Fish going to smell the worst. Smell is the most suggestive of thought, scent of smell. The smell is coming from a combination. When you pass the flatulence, you know. Because if you've got stagnation in there, you can tell when the smell is high. You understand? So the smell was coming from the fish has a lot to do with its composition. Plenty. It's everything to do with its composition, in fact. And that's what's coming from it. When you smell something, you're tasting it in reality. It's one sense. When you see it, or you touch it, or you smell it, all goes back to the one sense, the brain. These are the sensors. Sensors to gather information, take it back to the brain. You see in the brain, smell in the brain, taste in the brain, see, touch in the brain. You understand? Well, it sounds crazy, huh? That's what happens. We do because they just take things to the brain. You see? So, tumor is not early detection. Could never be. Look how small it is. A microgram. No. A nanometer. From the tumor developed or developing cannot be early detection. Early detection comes in like this. Let me leave you with this. The most accurate assessment ever carried out on the planet Earth is a health assessment carried out by a physical human being using his sensors and his higher faculties. This is ancient science. You see? But we now, we run to MRI, we run to ultrasound, you see? Give me some more of them, CT scan, and we expect that the machine is going to diagnose better than the man. But let's take a minute to just digest this. If I am a human being, which I'm a human being, and we have, back in the day, we used to carry out health assessments using our human faculties. Now, through the fall of grace, through our, our regression as human beings, we're now unable to do this and many other things. Unable to carry these out. So, what we've done, because we're smart, right? So we make machines, computers, MRI that can do these things that we can't do no more. So we're smart, right? We're smart, we're clever like that. But we realize we can't do it, so we want to create a machine to do it. Now let's go to the big question. I'm the designer of the MRI, for example. Can I, as a designer, create something that's smarter than the designer? If I'm the designer, can the design or the device be smarter than the designer? Can't. Impossible. Because it's my brains and my intelligence that's making it. So if you're looking at the human being who is unable to basically diagnose, is the word, properly. So he created a machine to diagnose for him, but the machine can't diagnose better than him because he made the machine. But they depend on the machines to diagnose. We're not saying they have no use. But to solely depend on a machine to diagnose is a poor state that we are in. You understand? The machine cannot be, it's like this. The creation cannot be smarter than the creator. You understand? Cannot be. But we don't know these things. You see? So I've been trained to carry out health assessment by reading the eyes, reading the nose, reading the ear, reading the whole body. The body expresses everything it goes through. Has to express everything it goes through. Your heart has a place where it expresses its condition through. Your kidneys and all your organs. It's oneness. There's never been any separation. You see, there's never have been. The tongue and these things tell you so much about the body. And this is what you call first-hand information. Because the medical system will not deny what I'm saying to you. They admit that they work on a secondary diagnosis process. It's a secondary diagnosis. You see, we're dealing with primary diagnosis. That's what we're saying. Reading what the body is saying. What is the body saying? What is the nose? What is the eye? What is the ear? Because there's so many symptoms that you go through before you get to cancer. Your sleep pattern changes. Your breathing may change. Your walking, your energy may change. Your hair may start falling out. You know, your tolerance level, you get agitated easily. You know, other things are changing. But you don't know that these are expressions of the body, but you don't understand your own body no more. We no longer understand the language of the body. So we run to someone else to translate our body expressions. You see, and they don't know. That's right. They don't know. So they basically create a machine to help them, but we just broke that down. The machine can't do better than them. Cannot. And many people can bear witness to what we're saying here because many of us have been for MRI. We're sick as a dog. Sick. We're going in there for checkup and the machine is saying, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. But you're sick as a dog. You understand? The body's expressing, so who's telling the truth? Come on. You just need someone to be able to translate that which is being expressed from your body. That's all. And it's not that hard. You see? So that's really what needs to be done. I mean, with that principle there, we use male and female, or better said, female and male principles. There's two things which I've said for time and time again. If you have any system that does not employ the use of female and male principles, it's defunct. If you have any system, organization, body, enterprise that does not employ as its fundamental principle spirituality, that system is defunct. Make note of this. And it's going around every day. You cannot have a valued and solid organization without the principle of spirituality. It's going to be, you're falling short even every time, each and every time. All right? So I'm coming to a close. We have a little store over the back there, which is in darkness right now, so anyway, you need a torch to go over there and find us. Yeah, but you can pick up with us. It's 582-0184. That's our main number, 582-0184. We also have a website that you can go to, our website, melaninclinic.com. That's the melaninclinic.com. Facebook, Melanin Clinic. Okay? And yeah, what I was saying, you have to love yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. Yes? Nobody else ain't going to love you unless you love yourself. All right, peace.
Okay, this is HMP TV over at Bull Bay, Kingston. Nighttime has set on us now. Mosquito, fly, all them kind of thing there. But hey, it's Jamaica. Beautiful, as you can hear the sea in the background, music is still going on and the vibes is still nice. We're here with Dr. Kenzu Ayomotep. He recently just done a wicked session. And I know this man's a teacher for years and it's just like seeing him back in his old mode, but this time he had a primary focus and that's health. And that is what this event is about, health. In regards to DIFALA, which is doing it for Anthony Leroy Anderson. That's what this event is about, who passed from cancer. So a lot of the topics, a lot of the discussion which is taking place here is in and around cancer and other related diseases in the body. Now, Dr. Kenzu, you know, one thing I've known you for a long time, and you have a very methodical approach to how you do things. Obviously, you was based initially in the UK, and you started your health journey there. You're now here in the States, in Jamaica. It's been a few times since I wanted to catch you out here, so we finally get the interview in an environment which is conducive to you, and you're looking well, mind you. But how are you finding the whole experience of Jamaica and the struggle of educating the Jamaican people to health? And I know it's not just a Jamaican thing, but this is where you are right now. How are you finding it?
Yeah, well, you see, right, Jamaica, what I can say, it's been very interesting, you know, very educational for myself, you know, challenging at times, yes, but I wouldn't really give it up for anything else right now at this stage in my life, you understand? So this is the stage we're moving through, this is where we're at, you know, so this is where we're at, this is what we have to do for now. There may be something else to do next year or tomorrow, you see, so insofar as speaking to the Jamaican people, yes, it's again very interested, very, very educated, because we're learning so much about ourselves and how we relate to people at the same time, you know, at the same time as we're learning the many gaps and holes in the personalities, the holistic personalities of the individuals, because that's what it comes to. We're dealing with people. We're not really dealing with diseases as such. We're dealing with people, you see, and so we should be healing, looking to heal people and not just symptoms.
Okay, so in regards to people, this is a question I'm going to put to several people because, you know, different people, different places have different type of mentalities. You know, from people who come from Jamaica to English, they will say the English have a certain mentality. You know, people from the UK will come over to Jamaica and see the certain mentality. How does your approach differ with the different mentalities that you have?
The different mentalities here in Jamaica?
Well, as in regards to what they may say a UK mentality is and how you're able to reach people there. Because, for example, in the UK, they look at eating West Indian food as being better than eating the food that they would eat. They say it's more holistic. Right. Yet when you come out here and you really check the food which is being eaten, it's not as healthy as one would think. You get me? So, you know, you have different mentalities. So over here, people are thinking, you know, the food that they grow up with as being a good food, and now obviously they're over in Jamaica because me past Kentucky full up with people. So they're moving away from one bad food to a new one. So, you know, you're dealing with different mentalities in the different countries. How do you find it is to be able to reach the mentality of the people that you have here in JA? And what type of mentalities do you think you find over here as opposed to the UK?
Well, yes, you're right, insofar as because I grew up in the UK, but in a Jamaican house, I often say. In a Jamaican house, my parents are both rooted from Jamaica. Now, yes, the type of food, so when we eat this full plate of oxtail and yam and sweet potato and green banana, you know, and we feel good and we say a strong food, you know. Them say Usain Bolt grew up on that kind of food and so forth, you know. But when you really analyze it, yes, a plate of starch and some blood, you see, that can only go against you. These are contributing to the maladies in Jamaica, most definitely. So yes, so that mindset has to go because they say soul food. It's been said that the reason it's soul food because it takes your body and just leaves your soul. It destroys your whole body. You see, because a high level of starch going to contribute to diabetes and all these other maladies. You understand? So yes, the mindsets insofar as, especially that very same dish that I described there, you know, ground provisions. It's hard to get the people away from a full plate of ground. Well, yes, we can get them away from a full plate, and what we do often is just leave it as side dishes, which is cool. That's as far as you're going to get them because it's a staple food. This is what they grow up on. This is what's in their blood. You see what I'm saying? You got things like the white rice, you know, which is not a food. You know, we must understand it's not a food. You know, I want the listeners, everybody to hear it's not a food. White flour is not a food. These are chemicals, drugs, junk, by definition of what the process of the process it goes through. You see, so you know we need to understand. But white rice is a you know an everyday food here in most households. You see, and it's very destroying.
So obviously, you mentioned on the stage that your teacher, your mentor. You mentioned several, but one of them being Dr. Layla Africa.
Yes.
Obviously, you had Dr. Sabi's passing recently.
Yes.
Where do you think the next generation of healers, obviously you're one of them, coming up in the next generation of healers, because obviously in interviewing Dr. Layla himself, he even said, look, my time is to pass on to the many youngers coming up beneath me. Where is the future of healing naturally and the new health healers, and do you think you can take their work further?
Well, that's a blinding question. I really like that question because that's what it's about. Where is it going now? Now, first, let me give big regards to and respect to Dr. Layla Africa. Yes, he taught me so much when it comes to holistic health. You see, as well, we have to exhort Dr. Sabi. We also learn from Dr. Sabi. You see, and one thing I love about both of those, they were taking the health back to the origin, Africa. You see what I'm saying? The origin of civilization on this planet. You understand? So yes, we have to hold those two in very high regard. Now, the future, yes. You see, the future for where I'm standing right now, and I mentioned some of this up there a while ago, is that holistic. See, my thing has always been holistic health. Whole. Now, the book is coming out soon. As the book is coming out, we've actually changed the title now to Is Holistic Health Really or Truly Holistic? Because the reason we did this because we identified along the road that people are running around with this term now, but they're not practicing holistic health as whole and complete godly. You understand? Divine. They're leaving aspects of life out. So we're bringing it back together. You understand? So we say, in answer to the question, the mind has to be addressed. Many great teachers have been addressing the issues, you know, the health issue. We're talking about the mind, the spirit, you see. But there's a focus on the mind, and it's so wide. Me and you touched on this already. This it's so wide. I don't want to go into too much right now, but in future discussions, we're going to really focus in on the mind, you see, and the vastness of it, and how to take control of it.
Okay, well look, that's a conversation we definitely look forward to having with Dr. Kenzo Ayamotep. He is based in Jamaica, but every now and again he blesses us with his presence in the UK. We may see him in the year 2017 if we are, you know, HMP TV are going to be supporting behind that. But on behalf of HMP TV, on behalf of Sister Shalshani, we'd like to thank you for coming up here today and doing your thing. And you know, we're going to be going out to the what's the food shop called?
Oh, me hungry. So yeah, I'm going to talk to the proprietor.
Yeah.
We can.
Well, regardless, we're going to go there and yam some food anyway. You know what I mean? And we're going to turn up at his yard and going to yam food because we like that. But we're going to kind of flip round to the other side, to the other stage, and see what's going on over there. Between now and then, big man.
Yeah, man. All
bless.
Right. Yeah, bless.
Take care, family.
Okay, I don't know about you, but healing the nation. 3 words coming together. Healing the nation, spiritually, emotionally. I have learned a lot a while ago. I don't know about you, but I have learned a lot. Where healing starts, it starts from you, the individual. How many persons have been listening and understanding where this is going? Healing the nation. You know, it deals with every aspect of our life, health-wise,
how we think and how we look at things and what we eat. Healing the nation, it all starts with us, the individual. Now I was told that we're going to have a performance. Can I? Empress Storm, alright, she's going to grace the stage with a nice performance for you to entertain and give you some great music. Empress Storm is in the place. Empress Storm.
Solution to you, demands that I tell you that from tonight you're mine. I ain't playing no more games with you. Tonight I'm moving in your heart for forever to ignite. It's a certain kind of chemistry to move us from inside of me, baby. And you got the formula. We grow way beyond the physical attraction. I'm a slave to your love, I can't get enough. So tonight I'm moving in your heart for forever to ignite. Let's chat, please. Baby, be true, and I'll give the world to you. I mean it, baby. Baby, be true, and I'll give the world to you. I mean it, baby. Oh, baby, treat me right, and I'll love you day and night. I mean it, baby. Oh, baby, I'll give the world to you. Oh, baby, do what you want to do. Now, baby, I mean it, baby. Oh, baby, I mean it, baby. Oh, baby, when you're down, I'll be around to find you, baby. Oh, baby. give it to you, oh baby. I do want to listen to you, now baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. When you go down, I'll be around to find you, baby, oh baby. When you're free, just call on me. I'll be there, baby, oh baby. I'll give it to you, oh baby. Do what you want to do, now baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. I wanna treat you right. I wanna live your life. I wanna give my heart away. I wanna give you night and day. I wanna treat you right. I wanna love you day and night. I wanna give my heart away. I wanna give you night and day. I said, baby, sweet baby, oh baby, oh baby, 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 baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. I mean it, baby, oh baby. I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna love you day and night. I'm gonna give your heart away. I'm gonna give you night and day. I'm gonna treat you, love. I'm gonna treat you right. This one for all my rastas out there, you know? Na 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 na, yeah. Oh, when you walked into the room, my heart went boom. After just one look at you,